What's up, Dad?
What's up, Dad? What's up? What's up, Dad? What's up?
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
What's going on, everybody? It is What's Up, Dad, episode number 9. Guys, first of all, I want to apologize. We're at a new location today, in person, shooting this with Derek. There's got to be the loudest freaking dog in the world barking outside and will not stop. So, I'm sorry if you hear it in the background. Just blur it out. I mean, we're all dads. We can blur out our kids, so why not just blur that little roof going on in the back out? So, without further ado, I'm going to let Derek introduce himself, and then we will hop into today's episode.
What's up, dads? Derek Scheetz here. How is everyone doing today? Again, as Grayson mentioned, we are very apologetic for this consistently loud dog, but as you know, we deal with noises like this all the time. So, thank you for having me, Grayson.
Of course. Well, I appreciate it. You were one of the first people that signed up. We finally got an opportunity to make this conversation happen today. We got the link up, and that's good. It's interesting. Derek and I, we've known each other for at least 4 years.
Yeah.
At least 4 years. All through networking, and that's where the conversation, I think, started through a local, was it H7?
I believe we created our own.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, so we helped create an H7 group. Then we created another independent group. And then he had a baby. And I had like a third child, or second and a third. And that was that. Does that sound about right?
It's pretty darn close. I do recall we started at the Rusty Bucket in Clintonville, and we worked our way all the way to the Columbus Public Library downtown. And over that 3.5-year period, here we are.
Yeah. Continue to stay in contact, continue to talk and stuff like that. But, that goes to the title of today's episode, Networking with Babies. That's what we're going to call it. And it's not the question of the day, so I haven't disclosed that yet to Derek. But that's the title of today's episode because, I was sitting here thinking, when I first started networking, I had one child. You don't find, I don't think from a networking perspective, do we find enough about people in their personal life. We get together in these networking meetings and we just have conversations about how can you help me? A lot of people say it's how can I help you? But the reality of it is they're just saying, how can you help me? And all that stuff, and honestly, Derek was one of those people that we had conversations about other things. And there's going to be some things I bring up here soon he has no idea I'm bringing up. That means I do know a little bit more about Derek than maybe we would think. It's like, well, you don't know that stuff. Well, I do, actually. So it's funny to see that. And, where the babies come in is we got a new dad here, and this is exciting. And who was born first? Carter?
Cade was June 11th, and Carter was
17th.
Yes.
Okay.
So Cade was 6 days before Carter.
That's right. And I don't remember, like, I maybe remember seeing you post something about it, but what's funny is we went for our first checkup for Carter. I'm sitting in the van with the two girls. They're going bananas. Beth's inside the doctor's office with Carter. Had no idea we shared the same doctor's office. They pop out, and I'm like, wait a minute. That's Derek. That's Derek. No, that's Derek. Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. Other than having a new baby and being excited that you had a new baby, you looked awful.
I felt no better either.
And you can fill in why, right? I'm not going to steal your thunder on that. You guys were going through...
Yeah, it was tough.
That was tough.
28 days was tough.
And I remember that conversation. Like, you guys look defeated as a parent. And you don't see that in day one. You don't normally... Like, I know a lot of people that have babies, and you just don't see that, right? And I'm looking, and I'm like... And it's funny because Beth came out right at the end. You guys were leaving... I think Cade was sleeping at that time, so you're like, please let us go so we can get some shut eye, like, right? And man, I remember closing the door and rolling the windows up or whatever, and I was like, they haven't slept in like ever. And Beth's like, what are you talking about? I was like, that's what they're here for, trying to figure out how to make the baby sleep. The baby will not sleep. And I thought to myself, I couldn't do it.
That was it.
Couldn't do it. So, oh my gosh.
It was definitely a learning experience on not so much how to get the Cade to sleep. It was a learning experience on how to continue to be a human being without sleep. That is it. You can't avoid the lack of sleep, so you have to adjust and learn, how do I continue to walk? How do I continue to talk with zero sleep under me? And, you know, all the dads out there know it's the first month is, you know, some people have it great, some people have it really rough, and unfortunately for us, the first 28 days were full of all sorts of things. And it started simply as Cade just didn't like to sleep. He had acid reflux, he was colicky, he wouldn't eat well, he would spit up after he would eat, and then he also wouldn't sleep to compound all that. So yes, that was, I believe, the 2-week visit for us. So Cade was 14 days old, Carter must have been a week old. And the next 2 weeks were even worse. He didn't get better. He kept having acid reflux. He kept spitting up, and to compound it all, he ran a fever of 100.4 when he was 21 days old. So, on the suggestion of our pediatrician, we ended up spending 48 hours at Nationwide Children's, and he had every single test done that you can imagine. Every single test came back negative. So, what was wrong? Nothing. Maybe something, but ultimately there was no clinical diagnosis. We went home, and it was like a light switch. 2 days later, he started eating better and sleeping better and just acting like a 1-month-old kid, as opposed to a newborn that has no idea what to do except cry. And I gotta say, those 28 days were tough, and I know a lot of you dads out there have been through it. But on the other side of that coin, I spoke with a buddy of mine. He coaches lacrosse up at Worcester. His 2-week-old daughter is already sleeping through the night. So again, you got to take what you can get when you can get it. That's the outlier there. But yes, thank you for that, Grayson. That was some of the advice I received. You know, it's thinking about after I spoke with Grayson and Beth that day at the pediatrician. I got home, and Shannon and I, all we wanted to do was just sit on the deck and relax. It was a nice day. And Grayson called me. I'm like, this is great. I actually have another dad to talk to about stuff. And sure enough, some of it was business related, but ultimately the conversation was geared at advice and how to do things, and how to not want to kill your significant other, and how to want to continue to try and get the kid to sleep better and eat better and do all these things that take so much effort and energy. And you're already so drained at that time that that phone call was a blessing. Seeing Grayson and Beth was a blessing at the pediatrician, but not only that, getting the phone call after the fact was ultimately one of the best things that could have happened at that time, because we kept our focus forward and we kept our mindset in the right place. Had we not, we would not have helped Cade progress. And I got to say, he's 10 months old. He is unbelievably a delight to be around at all times. The kid laughs. He sleeps when we want him to sleep. He eats all the time. I mean, it's a delight. So yeah, going from start to finish it's been a very up and down experience, but ultimately the ups far outweigh any of the downs. And to be honest, looking back at those first 28 days, even though it was somewhat stressful and time consuming and all these different things, your mind somewhat blacks it out. So believe it or not, even after all that, we have number 2 on the way.
So you didn't learn anything, is what you're saying.
I did not learn a single thing. So don't learn, or please learn from my mistakes as opposed to making a mistake yourself. Until you're really ready, just wait a little bit for number 2. I'm just kidding. We are so thrilled and excited. We've got number 2 coming in July, and we're gonna have some Irish twins. So yeah, that was an aha moment for me, seeing you two at the pediatrician. A true aha moment.
Well, Here's the thing, right? We've continuously talked. Obviously, we've known each other for a while, continuously talked and whatnot. I learned a lot from you guys during that period, believe it or not, because my son sucks at sleeping. He's awful. He's terrible at it, and yeah, it sucks, right? Like, first 2 girls slept like a champion and all that good stuff. Now, he's getting better. Don't get me wrong. We're almost to the point after 10 months or whatever that he's almost sleeping through the night. Mm-hmm. So we're almost there, right? We're not, though. Okay, let's just be honest with ourselves. We're not. There's still nights that he wakes up at 1 and 3, or he'll wake up at 5 or 6 and stuff like that. And, it puts a wreck on you, right? Like, as I gave that dad fatherly, just simple advice, it was much of just listening to somebody going through it to turn that around and say, oh my goodness, 20 days later, we're in the same position that Derek has. Now, what's funny, though, is I remember the phone call of calling you and saying, hey, how's it going? You're like, he's sleeping. Everything's fine. And I'm just like, dagnabbit, my son sucks. He's not sleeping. What is going on? And I'm like losing my mind at that point in time. But there was like a sense of calmness. And again, it's that proper phone call that you have. And it just makes everything better, right? In some way.
If nothing else, it's camaraderie.
Yeah.
It's going through something that someone else is also going through at that same time.
Yep.
Good, bad, and different.
Exactly.
It's having someone else that's doing it, even though we weren't physically next to each other
yes.
raising our sons. We were both going through the same process. Although, yes, you have 2 older daughters, it's still brand new.
Yeah.
One, it's your first boy, and 2, he wasn't as easy as the girls.
Not even close.
So it's like you needed a little bit of that boost as well.
Yeah.
To get through.
Yeah, it's definitely timely phone call with that. I remember those conversations. I remember all that stuff, and that's just what makes it amazing because, again, you learn about dads outside of networking, outside of business, and you're able to provide advice. Like, if it weren't for us creating a friendship, a business relationship is such a weird word to say. Like, it sounds like we're in a relationship, but that's what it is, right? A friendship or relationship. There's your friends, right? In whatever capacity it is, business or not. And as dads, we need more of that. We don't need to be afraid to let people see what we have at home and the things that were going on at home or be judged by that stuff. Because I could have easily been judged, to which I wasn't, of having 2 kids already. We easily connected and had conversations, and that made that conversation, I think, easier to talk and to reach out or, to connect. Yes. It just helps. And you're right. Every kid is different, right? Every freaking kid. You guys I wish I could tell you that number 2 was better than number 3 or whatever it is, or you're more prepared. No, you're not. It's literally the roll of the dice, and every day is the roll of the dice when you think you have it figured out. And we're learning that with child number 3, right? Like, we had sleeping issues when Skylar was older. She would sleep just fine to begin with. She is like 13 years old now, it seems like. The sass level is unbelievable. Never expected it. Our 2-year-old or 3-year-old is she's next level, like sass at this age where Skylar wasn't. And our son is wow. I mean, just wow, right? Like, he is all over the place. I told Beth, like, our daughters, not that we did this, right, and going to get children's services called on us, but, like, you could go to the back, you could set the kid down in the middle of the floor, barricade everything, protect it, it's not going to get hurt, make sure all the stuff is moved out of the way so it can't eat anything, hurt himself. You could put him in a padded room. My daughters wouldn't move. They would just stay there, they'd play, and they'd be fine for 30 whole seconds. You go to the bathroom, right? You could take them to the bathroom with you, set them on the floor. Everything would be fine. No, my son needs to be on a leash. He'll never be on a leash, but he's been trying to climb the stairs for 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
The stairs. Like, we never had to deal with that with the girls. Like, don't get me wrong, they tried to climb the stairs, but what are you doing? Bro, what are you doing? Like, get away from the stairs. We have a gate, so we put it up. I mean, like, now it's a whole another level of inconvenience. He's trying to go under the gate. He's trying to climb over the gate. I'm like, what are you doing?
He wants to explore.
He does. And I'm cool with it. It's a learning experience, though. Oh, my.
From the girls to Carter, And I don't know what it's like to have girls. But again, I have 13 nephews and nieces. And Kate is no longer the youngest anymore. My twin brother had a child in October. That sounds right. And it's, seeing how my older siblings, how their children were in the beginning, I was like, okay, this isn't going to be that bad. But what you don't see is what you don't see. Mm-hmm. When you're not there is when chaos ensues. For some reason, my oldest sister has 4 kids. All 4 of those kids are unbelievably well behaved when they're around others that they don't know that well. Now, when you bring my parents or their grandparents on my brother-in-law's side or any of my siblings, it's night and day. They're crazy kids, and you just don't know what you're going to get until you get it. Cade, he did not move an inch. He was just like your daughters up until about 3 weeks ago. Now, if he is on the floor, he is moving, and he is moving in directions that you don't want him to go.
Yep.
So yeah, it's truly a learning experience, and it's nonstop.
Oh.
And there's nothing more manly than always being there for your kid if they need you. I don't know. I just feel like he is going to be, I don't know. I feel like I'm around as much as I can be. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's very important. I want him to know who I am. And that's the thing. When I turn the corner and he sees me, it's the most violent, happy scream I've ever heard.
Yep.
And that's what I love. That's absolutely what I love. So, being a good dad is everyone's own opinion. But in my mind, I do everything that I can to take care of Cade. And he's doing great now. Rewind back 9 months. I would tell you a different story. 8 months ago, probably a very different story. Now, after that second month, I guess after the first month, things got a lot better. But after the second month, it was just night and day.
Yeah.
It's like a light switch was flipped.
And we'll have these different, we're going to, having 3 kids now, this is going to happen again, right? And it's going to happen with Cade. It's going to happen with the baby. So, you're going to be like, man, month 2 to month 12 was fantastic. Month 14 rolled around. I wanted to not punch him. That sounds terrible. Again, I wanted to just, I just wanted to, oh my goodness. And, it's just what happened, right? And then all of a sudden it's like the flip of the switch again, and you're like, well, you're in a whole new stage. Everything's completely different. Mm-hmm. Again, so it wasn't even what happened month 2 to 13. You had 2 days in month 14 that was off the Richter, like what in the world just happened? And then he's like 7 years old. You're like, what? Now he's walking, he's talking back, he's this, that, and another, and he
it's
wants
nonstop.
Yeah,
literally nonstop.
It's it's crazy. It's crazy. Yes. So,
well, again, going back to the way that we met was absolutely via networking, but what we did not do is try and sell each other on something.
Never.
We got to we took the time to get to know each other.
Sure.
Which I feel is much more beneficial long term for networking. Mm-hmm. And rewinding back, an hour of networking can be really good, but when everyone only gets a 30-second commercial on their business and not themselves, you lose track of the individual, and there's a facade put up that you want to avoid at most cost, because what are they trying to sell me? You already brought it up.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to meet, but they don't want anything to do with, they want to know how you can help them.
Exactly. Because honestly, he's a financial planner and does a damn good job at it. I know a whole bunch of them, just like he knows a whole bunch of insurance agents too. So, we're almost in the same realm, but not. The reality of it is you have a cousin, an uncle, a brother, a friend, somebody else that's in the same industry in some capacity. We're in a very overblown industry.
Saturated.
And it's very saturated. And all that stuff, and the only way today to truly make true business friendships and opportunities, in my opinion, is by building long-term relationships in a different way. And, you know, and I'll be honest, like Derek and I have really not done any business together, and it's okay though. Like to me, that's still okay. Like there would not be another person that I'd want to be on this episode. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay with us not doing, you know, and there's various reasons to that. You know, we tried to, you know, but we have a good friendship. Correct. That's the key. We have a good friendship, and I guarantee, I'd like to think that if Derek ever needed something, I'm sure I'd be one of those first phone calls. And that's all I ask for, but I also don't want it to wreck the friendship of the phone calls of, hey, how's the baby doing? Because you better believe I'm going to be one of the first phone calls or try to be when baby number 2 is born. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's what matters.
That is the difference between someone that's trying to go out and just sell. I don't care what they're trying to sell. Mm-hmm. What you need to be selling is yourself.
Exactly.
First.
Exactly.
If you sell yourself first and you do a good job of building trust in the beginning, then everything else is just going to come with it.
Sure.
You won't have to fight to put yourself in a bright light because you're already there. And whatever company you are promoting or representing, that's at that point meaningless. They like and know you.
Yep.
And whatever's going to come behind it, they're at least going to give you the opportunity.
Yep.
And that's where, again, you get to know people on a deeper level than what they do. Sure. I like to ask questions. Why did you get into this industry? That's just such an easy question. A lot of people, oh, you know, I didn't know what I was. My college degree is blah, blah, I had family do that. Well, ultimately, it's your choice. Yeah. And if it's something that you want to do, you have to do it, and you have to do it right. Mm-hmm. And that's where, unless you go and you're answering phone calls for, you know, servicing something, you have to start by selling yourself. Yep. And, you know, going back to networking with kids, I do feel like having a kid has helped me in networking, because if I have to pivot, it's because of him, and everyone is unbelievably understanding. In fact, I think it gives me a little more credibility because I have to do something to take care of my son. I apologize that this time doesn't work, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. And it's absolutely helped my business, my networking, my inner circles within my, what do you want to call my spheres of influences, my circles of influence, my strategic partnerships, whatever you want to call them. Sure. It's strengthened all of that because, well, again, you know, my mindset is I want to help take care of my son's future. Mm-hmm. That's a part of it, but also I feel like much more of an adult now, and when I have these conversations, I don't beat around the bush like I used to. Sure. People don't like wasting time. Mm-hmm. I don't want to waste their time. They don't want to waste my time. So let's get to it. We'll get to know each other at some point, either before, during, or after. But let's get through the stuff that we don't want to talk about so we can talk about the stuff we want to talk about as well. And, you know, it's about getting to know who you're talking to. Know your audience.
You know, it's funny. I have written on here multiple questions that you've already hit on. Like, how has life changed during your business with a kid, right? That was something I want to hit on. You kind of hit on that already. What about now with another one on the way? I think there's a whole nother dynamic that comes out with that. But here's the deal. I think you honestly had a baby during the most perfect time. And now the pandemic, COVID, the whatever you guys want to call it, we're not going to get into the political side of that at all. You know, I hope not. I really don't want to today.
Although I see we can agree on that.
We could. There's things we can agree on, but we're just not going to get into it for the sake of the podcast today, right? But during the pandemic, you actually, in my opinion, had a baby at the absolute most perfect time. Something along the lines where I think it's heard a lot of things, people working from home and different stuff happening. There was a click that went off with people and started to understand what the true meaning of was. I have to go take care of little Johnny. I have to take care of this. My baby's crying. This is going on. I have a responsibility for this. We're going to have to end this phone call. We're going to have to do this. Here's point in case, right? When I talked to you last week to set this up, you're like, hey, man, you're going to hear in the background, the wife's out at a bachelorette party. Bachelorette party. Not bachelor. That's awkward.
Just pregnant.
Yeah.
At a bachelorette party. She did not have a good time.
Yeah. So you tell me that, right? I don't think you would have ever told me that pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, pre-anything. Not only having a kid. Now, I would have been okay with it anyways.
Absolutely.
But it's interesting the way things have changed and how we have learned to position ourselves to be apologetic without being apologetic. You didn't need to apologize to me, but letting me know and setting the basis of,
Yes.
I have a kid that's rowdy in the background, what's going on? It cues me to have a different conversation with you. I understand I don't have your full 100% undivided attention, and nor should I, because your son is going to take 99% of that, and it's okay. I need to get enough into your brain to say, hey, Derek, we have a meeting next Monday at 1 or Tuesday at 1 o'clock, right? And I'm going to send you something. We're going to connect, blah, 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 blah. That changed the whole focus of that.
Absolutely.
And I think the pandemic opened people's eyes that never worked at home before, that never got to wake up and be in their pajamas and be on a Zoom call or any of that stuff, and now have a newfound respect for those that have kind of always done that.
Yes.
And understand that the laundry can be going on in the background. You can still be doing your job, this, that, and another.
Absolutely.
And, it sucks that it took this major thing to happen to the world in whatever capacity. Again, not going to talk about that, but it's changed things.
Absolutely.
And hopefully, as a dad, and this is speaking to dads, moms, everybody in between, I hope you now understand how to have that conversation with people. Do not be afraid to say, hey, my son's with me. Don't be afraid to show up at that meeting with your son, right? Whatever. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but do not be afraid. So, knowing that person and asking the follow-up questions to be, well, what are you guys doing? You were watching the freaking Masters, bro. What happened? You saw your first
hole-in-one in like 8 years live.
Live, right? So our conversation went from business and podcast to life.
Yeah.
The wife's not having any fun. I'm not saying she didn't. So if her friends hear that about the bachelorette party, I'm sure she had fun. But, not being able to drink at a bachelorette party sounds pretty boring in some capacity because, or a bachelor party, that would kind of be awful. So,
Imagine.
anyways. So, no, that was something I wanted to hit on. But now we're going to get into some fun stuff, some different things, and the question I have for you, and you have already answered it for me. You've already answered it. You still wear a suit every day, man. The pandemic has not taught you that you can wear. You got a haircut today before coming here, and you got a suit on.
Yes.
Well,
my suit jacket's actually in the car, so I didn't bring all of it. Most of it. I'm wearing most of it.
I love it though.
Yeah, I when the pandemic started, it was mid-March, and we closed the office down until June 1st. That 2.5 month period was really weird. I had no idea what to do. I felt lost, and it wasn't so much that I was at home. It was more that I wasn't in my office.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as June 1st came around, I was back in the office. I'm not saying I was very productive because the beginning of the pandemic was a weird time. I don't know if some people got a grasp of it pretty quickly. I did not. I did not truly understand how long this was going to last. So I just kept going to the office. And then if I don't have any client meetings, more than likely I'm dressing down. It's business casual, not business dress. So I will show up in nicer khakis and a polo on a day that I'm not meeting anyone face-to-face. I still meet a lot of people face-to-face.
Sure.
I also have clients now in 13 states. So I do a lot of virtual meetings. So if you see me on a Zoom call, more than likely I'm wearing a shirt and tie. Now I may be wearing boxers and no pants underneath, but I will be in a shirt and tie. So the reason is it's multifaceted. The biggest reason for me is there are a lot of people that trust me with their life savings. I don't think wearing a Canadian tuxedo to a client meeting would be appropriate. I think, and a lot of my clients they're slightly older, so they...
Wait, what's a Canadian tuxedo?
It's a jean shirt, jean jacket, and jeans.
Never heard of that before.
All right.
That's going to be the image I'm going to throw up for this one, by the way.
All right, so what you need to do is actually Google Casual Friday, Curb Your Enthusiasm. It is the best 4 minutes you will see. It is anyone that's listening, just Google it. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. The Casual Friday one is fantastic. But that's what it brings it. That's what I bring it down to is I work with a lot of older people, and I'm not saying old, but people that are closer to retirement, and their mindset is a little older fashioned, and they're used to their financial advisor wearing a suit.
Sure.
So in that situation, absolutely. But here's an example. I met with a logging company last week. I did not wear a suit. I wore what I felt they would feel comfortable with me wearing. I dressed down a lot more. I met with...
Did you go buy some Carhartt? You said logging?
Logging, yeah.
Yeah, Carhartt.
I was
boots
wearing... what was I wearing? It wasn't Carhartt, but it was close. But nonetheless, I kind of mold the way that I dress to the audience that I'm speaking to.
Sure.
So if I'm speaking to the dental students, I am absolutely not wearing a suit and tie.
Sure.
I will wear more or less what they would expect a professor to wear, maybe, or maybe not even a professor.
Sure.
But for me, it's the audience. So today, I had a couple in-person meetings. If it were just Grayson and I would be wearing a polo. I really would. But I think that's what it comes down to. Does that answer that question?
No, that answers the question. You know, it's funny. You always wear, I would say, 90, maybe 95%. It's not 100% of the time. 90% of the time that I've ever met with you, you've had a suit and tie on in some capacity, like as close to a suit and tie as possible. And you know what? I'm just going to take that as a token of respect that that's what you think I need.
Absolutely.
And it's probably it. So,
100%.
you know what? I'm going to go with that. I'm close to retirement.
I said a minute ago. The only reason I'm wearing a suit and tie today is because I'm meeting with Grayson to talk to you dads out there.
Yeah. No,
that's it.
You know, here's the deal. At the end of the day, your son and your daughter, but your son, as of right now, is going to see that and is going to hold so much respect for that. Absolutely. You know, and my kids know when I need to dress up, I dress up. Dad has no problem looking good, but I also want people to know that, like, I truly feel you do not have to wear a suit and tie every day. Like, this is my dream to be a business owner. I've been doing it for a long time. Mm-hmm. I want people to know who I am. You know, I got a hat on right now. I'm wearing boots, you know, some Chelsea boots, and you know, I got jeans on. This is what I love to be. I'm comfortable, but
I care about.
I'm comfortable, but I'm comfortable in what I'm pitching, what I'm talking about, and everything. I want you to know me for what's in my brain and what's in my heart, right? Those two things, and that's the respect I'm looking for. You know, because obviously in my head, I know if I needed to wear a suit, I would have. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So I'm not saying you don't deserve that respect. I've just been I want you to know me for who I am, because we've had a very personal relationship, not necessarily business. So that's kind
and
of
I
that.
appreciate the candor, because in the past 9 months, it's not 95% anymore. It's like 75%.
There you go.
It's 3 or 4 days a week where I'm dressed like this,
Sure.
and then there are 2 days a week that I'm not.
Sure.
Here's another example of times when I will dress up at least part way. So yesterday, I worked from my home office yesterday, which beginning of the pandemic was impossible. I just couldn't figure out how to get things done. But if I actually have the meeting scheduled and I conduct the meeting in my home office, very, very productive. I'm just not good at scheduling meetings when I'm at home. So I think having the ability to pivot just a little bit has created a lot more value for myself and my clients, because they don't always like to travel. They don't want to come to my office all the time. I don't want to go see them all the time. If we don't have to, let's create a way to do this so that we can be as productive without creating more time.
Yep.
We have to drive. I mean, that's a part of it too.
Yep.
You take away from the commute, that's a big portion of my days had been going out and seeing clients. Now I'm able to do a lot more of it virtually.
Sure.
And I can work from home if need be.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't mind it anymore. I used to hate it because, like I said, I could not be productive.
Yeah, you were lost in figuring out what to do.
Mindset is all about shifting it 1 degree at a time. And if you can do that 1 degree shift, it creates an unbelievable change long term.
Well, you know, it brings back things that I know about you, and we're going to get into kind of what would be the ending of the conversation here soon. But I know you went through, you always ask people, like, why are you doing what you're doing, right? And how did you get there? You know, it's funny, when I first met you, you were just trying to figure out your why.
Yep.
And this ties into my next question, which is going to be the best question of the day. I guarantee it. Okay. Because you had gone through a couple career changes. Absolutely. You were trying to figure out like your path and whatnot. And I love the success that you've seen thus far, which brings me to my question that I'm going to answer you here in just a moment, guys. I'm going to hold on to this a little bit longer. But you had all that freedom in a different way. And it's crazy because I don't think you had the passion in the industries that you were doing. Correct. To which you have today. So where you got that passion from, my friend, what is your nickname again that you got when you're on your mission trips or your trips down? What were you called? When you would
Doctor.
Fix, huh?
They call me Doctor.
But what? You had a specific one. What did we give you in our networking group?
Oh my gosh.
Do you not remember that? Because you were fixing cleft palates, right?
Yes.
You don't remember that?
Doctors.
No, there was something specific. You had this funny nickname.
Oh my gosh, why is my mind so blank? You caught me off guard. It's been a few years.
It has been. So I remember sitting around the table with Katie Jones, and Jeremy was there, and Charles, and there was a funny. You said they had called you something because you extract. You used to do a lot of teeth extraction, right? Yes. When you would go on, not a mission trip, but
it was a medical mission.
A medical mission trip. Yes. Yeah, because your dad is
he's now a retired oral surgeon. Yes.
There you go.
We would go to Guatemala and we would assist in repairs of cleft lips and cleft palates and many other dental and oral and actual facial conditions down there. And I'm still honestly almost at a loss of what that nickname was because I actually extracted like 30 some teeth one day. Oh my gosh.
I can't think of it. That was going to be my question, and I've been racking my brain over what it was, and I'm sure I'm gonna hit up Katie and all those people to see, hey, do you remember what Derek, and I don't remember where the nickname come from, but it was absolutely hilarious.
It was perfect.
It's something we had, again, knowing people, Didn't
you guys make it up?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember.
After I told the story, someone in the group made it up.
Because you had explained it was one of your opening things you had talked about in your networking group, and again, about learning people and stuff like that. You had mentioned it, and how you had mentioned it, it was funny. It was hilarious. Kind of like what is the Santa Claus movie where the Tooth Fairy wants to be called the Molinator?
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Claus 2 or 3.
Yeah,
it's
and
one of the sequels to the Santa
I think it's
Claus.
3 with the
the Molinator.
The Molinator, because he. Yes. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I remember that, and I remember that's funny, and that brings it back to your passion that you have because you do a lot of stuff within like the dental community, and you've paved a way, a group of people there that you are working with and you have this passion for and stuff like that. So a lot of connections there, again, knowing and understanding people and finding like where their true passion is. And now you can see where it's working out. Absolutely. Like it's truly working out. And I'm sure you're excited to talk with people that you have some common interest in, even though you're not a dentist. You know what I mean? But you have a connection in some capacity, right? And, I think it just hopefully shows and provides to our younger audience, younger community, newer dads and different things and ways, right? Like you might not know where you're at today. And I hope my kids know this. Like I'm not going to force anything on them. I want to teach them that it may take some time to figure out, but having something involve your true passion is super important.
Absolutely.
And, being a dad is a passion. Right? Like, we got to have that passion, so that's a part of it.
I did not expect that passion to be so strong, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was expecting it, but it's amazing how connected I feel.
Sure.
But, going back to passion, I tried to be the jack of all trades for the longest time. Even when I became a financial advisor, I was trying to be the jack of all trades. Mm-hmm. And sure, my degree is in financial planning. That doesn't matter. You could be the smartest financial planner in the entire world, but if you have no one to talk to,
sure,
who's benefiting from that?
Yep.
And then I spent all that time as a dental assistant, or medical technician, or surgical technician. Okay, I kind of thought of a way to maybe blend those two things together, and sure enough, that was it. Mm-hmm. Then the sky's the limit. You have to focus on at least something that you not only have a passion for, but you want to be an advocate for.
Yep.
And that's it. The life that I have had was created because of a lot of moving parts. But if I can help keep those moving parts in place for all those around me, everyone benefits from it.
Yep.
That's what I'm hoping for, is for everyone to benefit in one way, shape, or form. It's not going to happen overnight.
No.
This has taken a long, long time.
Yeah.
And to be honest, even after I picked the niche market I wanted to work with, I still didn't feel confident in it.
Sure.
I had to learn the market that I'm working in. Having even been the surgical technician, I can speak their language and lingo a little bit, but outside of that, it was hard to connect.
Sure.
So I had to find other ways to connect. And again, that's why you and I connected, because we have a lot in common. You're from a completely different area of the country, and you still ended up here in Ohio.
Yeah.
I mean, your family's from North Carolina, is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, the stars aligned.
Sure.
Because I'm honestly, before we ever met, Grayson, I would see your ads on Facebook. And I'm like, who is this guy? I got to get to know him.
Sure.
So I reached out, and I think that was really the first conversation we had ever had.
I think it was as well. Yep.
And from there is when you came to me with the networking group idea, because I'm not that ambitious, but that was the start of this.
Yeah.
And I just see so much more coming from this, not only on the obviously the business side, but the friend side.
Sure.
Creating more value for each other's families, whatever we can do. And if it's just sharing stories about the good, the bad, and the ugly, we're learning from those experiences that someone else had.
Oh, I agree, and that's what this podcast is all about. You know, today we talked a little more business and different ways and stuff, but believe it or not, everything that we're having this communication about is dad focused. Whether you guys see it, believe it, understand it or not, we're hoping to provide this to our kids and have our kids see what we're doing, and this is how these relationships are created. These friendships and business relations, all this stuff is paid for the future, right? And my true hope is that I am able to pass this knowledge, pass this how we do business down to our kids. It's a lost art. Unfortunately, our parents didn't know and don't know how to pass that because they did things differently. And, you know, it was very like single line focus. So they don't, you know, it's not the same. You know, the world is changing. We have to change. You have to change as a dad. You got to change as a parent, a husband, a friend, a father, a business partner. Just throw it all in there. We're constantly changing. Yes. So, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sure that we'll be able to take something from that. So we always end the conversation with some type of advice. So what do you got for people this week or anytime?
Oh, my biggest piece of advice 100% of the time is live in that exact moment.
Okay, I like it.
Because I have found in the past 10 months since my son has been born that when I am actually present in that exact moment, everything else that's moving around me doesn't matter, and I will get to it. But when I'm present in that exact moment, it creates an unbelievable feeling of just, what's the word I'm looking for? I really can't think of the right word right now, but it's a feeling of just perfection. That's it. It's a way for me to know that what I'm doing right then and there is what I need to be doing right then and there. When I have 100 things going on and I'm not focused on one specific thing, I can't think of anything.
Sure.
Even though I know there are 100 things I need to be focused on. So live in that exact moment right then and there. That's my piece of advice for you guys.
Well, I appreciate it. I always end with something. I got a quote for you guys this week. It has advice in it, but it's a quote and kind of advice, and it goes along with everything that we have going on here. This is from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Okay? A famous quote from his letters from Birmingham jail, April 16, 1963. The measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. The true neighbor will risk his position, his prestige, and even his life for the welfare of others. Guys, there's so much to be learned from this. If you have enjoyed the podcast, we really appreciate Derek being on this week. Make sure you reach out to him if you ever have any questions, if there's ever anything, if you're going through a similar situation as being a dad, trying to figure out your position in life with things that you have going on, trying to figure out, you got a newborn that doesn't want to sleep and you want to talk about it, learn something. Guys, don't hesitate to reach out. Follow us on all the platforms. Make sure you're subscribing and finding out what we got going on, as we will continue to release this every Wednesday. So thanks, Derek.
Grayson, thank you so much. Dads out there, and I'm sure maybe there's some moms listening in too. It's been a true pleasure. I hope that I have done my job and that Grayson will invite me back at some point in the future. With that, thank you again.
Sounds good. Thanks, Derek.
What's up, Dad? Hey, Dad, what's up?